Once KidsWatch is installed and the computer has been rebooted, you will log into the KidsWatch Administrator account, also known as a parent's account. Once logged in, you're going to click the Windows Start button, select All Programs, find the KidsWatch Parental Control software group, click on that to expand, and click on KidsWatch. If prompted for the Windows User Account Control, you will select Yes. And you're going to want to continue your trial. The first screen that appears is the KidsWatch home screen. On the KidsWatch home screen is all of the accounts, the Windows accounts that were discovered on the computer, including any accounts that were created during the installation process. You also have the Reports tab, which will allow you to create, schedule, and view KidsWatch reports. You have the Options tab that will allow you to change options, Support button to email KidsWatch support, and online help. First thing we're going to tackle is to alter the restrictions for Ryan. In order to do that, you're going to select the Ryan account and double click on it. First screen that appears is the account screen, and on the account screen you have the ability to alter the category that you had originally set up during the installation process. You can see there's the child, the youngster, the adolescent, and the teen categories that you've seen during the installation process. You also have the ability to alter the computer restrictions that were put in place by default and the web filtering restrictions. We are going to first go in and alter the computer restrictions by clicking on the Edit button. And as you can see, Ryan by default was set up for 6 hours per day with the following restrictions. He can use the computer Sunday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I am going to alter Friday and let him use the computer a little bit longer. So I'm going to double click on Friday and allow him to use the computer 8 hours on Friday. And I'm also going to allow him to use the computer until midnight. So I'm going to highlight the 11 p.m. till midnight boxes, and I'm going to select Allow. So now if you look at Friday, it says Ryan can use the computer 8 hours on Friday between the hours of 7 a.m. and midnight. I'm also going to cut back on Sunday. I think that's a little bit too much. So I'm going to go to Sunday, double click on Sunday, change the time quota on Sunday to 2 hours. So now we could use the computer 2 hours on Sunday, but I want to cut him back. I don't want him using the computer past 6 p.m. So I'm going to highlight 6 p.m. till midnight, select Restrict. And now Ryan can use the computer 2 hours on Sunday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. and on Friday 8 hours between the hours of 7 a.m. and midnight. I'm going to leave all the other days alone, and I'm going to select OK to save my settings. Now I'm going to go into the web filtering section, and I'm going to alter the web filtering restrictions by clicking on the Edit button. Here we have the web filtering screen. All of these categories that are selected are restricted. If I wanted to expand any of the categories to see what's underneath them, I would just click on the plus sign to the left of the category. If I need to understand a little more information about a category, I can go over to the category and right click on it. It gives you a little description of what that category is all about. So I am going to block all of the mature and adult categories, and I'm going to go down to some of the general categories, expand those a little bit, and block 1 or 2 of those. So I am going to block image searches. I don't want my child going onto Google and doing any image searches. I am going to block torrent repositories, and I am going to open up arts and entertainment, and I'm going to block streaming media, which is essentially Yahoo. I'm sorry, not Yahoo, YouTube. So I'm going to block sites such as YouTube, which is streaming media. And I am also going to open up and expand web-based messaging and communications. And I'd also like to block MySpace and Facebook and those types of social networking sites by clicking on the checkbox to the left of those categories. I also want to block sites that cannot be categorized by the filter for whatever reason, and I'd also like to block any searches for adult porn content. What that means is if they open up Google or Bing or any of the search engines and they type in the word porn or sex or any similar phrases, the search will be blocked. I'd also like to click on the time limits and overrides button to allow Ryan to use Facebook for 1 hour each day. So I'm going to add Facebook. I'm going to put in wildcard character to the left and to the right of Facebook, and that will allow any deviants of Facebook. So if they click on any links on the Facebook page and they get blog.facebook.com or files.facebook.com, it'll also allow those URLs. So I'm going to add the site Facebook, and I am going to right click to set a time limit. You can also click on the checkbox to block a specific website altogether, or again you can right click on the website to set up a time limit. I'm going to allow Ryan to use Facebook for 2 hours per day, and it's going to be per day, so I'm going to select that per day radio button, which was already selected. So now if you look at the little yellow bubble, it says Ryan can browse Facebook 2 hours per day during any time of the day. I'm not going to set up any scheduled restrictions because the scheduled restrictions will be superseded by the computer restrictions. So I'm going to click OK here, and I'm going to click one more time to save my settings, and I am done with the web filtering restrictions. If you look at the top, these are some more advanced tabs. I will go into these very quickly. There's an internet tab if you wanted to restrict internet time. So if you wanted to allow your child to use 25 hours total of internet time, you can do that. Or if you want to set up a particular restrictions, a particular daily limit of internet time, you can do that. You can set up 3 hours per day between midnight and 6 p.m. You're going to restrict that, and you don't want him on the internet later than 9 p.m. every day, so you're going to restrict that. Sorry, I selected the wrong button here. I'm going to select the restrict button. So now you can see Ryan can use the internet 3 hours per day with the following restrictions every day between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Very similar to the computer restriction screen. You could fine-tune your restrictions. You could change each day so it has a unique set of restrictions if you'd like to do that. Keep in mind that the computer restrictions supersede the internet restrictions, so if he is not permitted to use a computer past 6 p.m., then he obviously can't use the internet. The Programs tab will allow you to set up similar type restrictions. You could block individual programs altogether, clicking to the left of the program. If you wanted to right click on a program, you could set a time limit for each individual program. Okay, the Chat IM tab will just indicate whether you want to capture chat or not. If it's checked, that means if your child is chatting on either Facebook, MySpace, AIM, MSN, Yahoo, and ICQ, their chat would be captured, and you can set up scheduled reports or alerts. Ports tab we are not going to go into, a little more advanced. I will select the Advanced tab, and on this tab you can restrict file downloads by checking to the left of that particular option. You can also restrict access to Control Panel. Temporary Passwords tab allows you to set up temporary passwords for your child if you're not available. So for example, if I wanted to set up a temp password for computer time, and I'm going to make that password 2 hours and add it. Basically, if you're not available and your child is working on a school project and he's running out of computer time and he needs more time, he calls you up, you can say, you know what, use temp password, and it'll give you 2 more hours of computer time. And the way he does that is he'll right click on his Kids Watch system tray icon, and he'll say extend computer time. He'll type in a temp password, and it will extend his computer time. You could set up temporary passwords for all of the different restriction categories in Kids Watch. Password reset allows you to change your child's password without knowing the original password, And restriction overrides allows you to suspend the restrictions for a period of time. You could suspend restrictions for a week. Let's say, for example, it's the winter break and you wanted to suspend all of the restrictions. You can do that. Or you can lock out Ryan, so Ryan can only use a computer for 1 day, 2 days, or a period of time. So I'm done setting up my restrictions and fine-tuning my restrictions. I'm going to click on the OK button, which basically saves your settings, puts all these policies in place, and then it'll bring you back to the Kids Watch home screen. So now it's taking probably about a minute or two to set up all the policies, and we will go back very quickly to the Kids Watch home screen. So it's still saving. Did I click on the OK button? I think I did. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't click on the OK button. So now it's setting up the policies and it's saving your profile. Okay. So now you are basically done with setting up the restrictions. You can log off of your Windows account and you can log into the Ryan account and you can test the settings. You can open up a browser. You could try to do a Google search on porn. You can go to some adult sites and make sure you're blocked. Before I get off of the Kids Watch home screen, we're going to select reports, and you can see the reports that were set up by default. If you want, you can change these reports and you can remove a report. You could schedule another report by clicking the Add Report button, or you could view a report interactively. Here's the Chat IM sessions. You can view the Chat IM instant message sessions interactively if you'd like, or you can get those reports again emailed to you. Real-time alerts. If you want to get notified in an email sent to you immediately when your child is in a chat conversation and a particular phrase is entered, you can do that. So for example, if he's in the Facebook chat conversation and somebody in the conversation types in sex, types in porn, suicide, drinking, drugs, guns, you will be notified immediately. If you click on these view the Chat IM terms, you click on this button, it'll list all the terms we currently have in our database. You can also add any other additional terms that you'd like to add. If you'd like to add your name and your address to prevent your child from giving that information out, you can do that, and it'll notify you if he does give any of that information out. And Predator Watch will allow you to track sex offenders and view which sex offenders live in your area, which registered sex offenders live in your area, and also be alerted if any sex offenders move into your area. The options screen is where you would set up initial warning. You can also disable website filtering if you'd like to do that. Shows you your email address and any other miscellaneous settings, which we're really not going to get into at this stage. That's it. Hopefully this was informative, and thank you very much for your time.